We're underway. The stakes are very high for both these clubs. Hudson slips it away. Bock. Quick hand pass. Shirley goes back with the outside of the boot. Doughty inside the forward 50. Spills to the back. McGregor overran it. Knights the hurried kick. Down towards full forward. Coming back. Kazitsky. And that says something. What a wonderful mark. Plays on. Swings it out wide. Montagna. And now revolt. Montagna held last week to just 13 possessions. Prior to that was in splendid form. Here's Fisher running out of space. Kept it alive down towards half forward. Rutten came up to meet it. Doughty once more. Massey feeds it forward. And eventually, weight of numbers. Tawney got it back to Doughty. As you can see, the solitary saint. Harvey doing plenty of work. Hudson, a little chip beyond the wing. And this is McLeod.
On the left, and he's looking for Bock. Gilbert with him. And Kazitsky to get back. Knights did very well back to Bock. And then Bock hooks it back to about 20 metres. McGregor makes a contest. Fisher was with him. Dal Santo. Shirley had him for a long, long time. Back to Dal Santo. Ducks his head. Graham's got it. Does he concede? No. Goes to Baker. Baker looks out wide and finds Ball. Ball measures the kick. Wants Attard. And then Attard sweeps the handball to centre half back.
Hayes pushing up the ground. One bounce. Adjacent to the centre circles. Then a probing kick inside the forward 50. In from the side for Fiora. Great mark, Rutten.
Could have done better then, Lenny. He had players out to his right with plenty of space to actually get over that group of Adelaide Crows players that were camped across half back.
John Cock got it from Edwards. Intent on drawing a man, but Attard won't be drawn. He backs off. Harvey comes up. Goodwin's got it now. Right half back. Kicks over the wing towards half forward. Off hands. Chance for Tawney. He's got the run of it. Almost got through. Could have got a free kick. Ball made contact. Play goes on. Graham very untidy. Bounces one back towards the middle. Thompson missed it. Not so Edwards. Well claimed by Montagna. And the ball was held to him. No doubting that. We'll have a bounce.
So Scott McLaren and Scott Jeffrey tonight with Sean Ryan, our umpires. 11, 29, 25 respectively. So not a score yet in this match. Baker, Van Berlo ripped him off, back to Tawney, having a super year. Oh, well done, Maguire. Played round one and played last week. Missed the 12 in between. Fisher to Graham on the burst. To Kazitsky, who's been prominent early. He's got Fiora very short. He decides to load up to full forward. Xavier Clark had a good run at it. Massey, revolt, Milne, kicks the goal. Saints get the first.
Well, that was an instinctive goal there from Stephen Milne. He had plenty of time actually to steady himself and run in and kick that from closer range than what he did. He elected to snap, but that's the mark by Kazitsky. It was Kazitsky's ball from midfield that got the ball deep into the forward line, and that was a well-positioned kick. Actually, he just sat it there on the top of Massey's head, just making sure that Xavier Clark was in a position where he was going to draw the contest, and that's a good crumb there and a good goal by Milne.
First blood to the Saints and that man who batted 5 against the Crows round 2 2003 right here at the Telstra Dome. Players St Kilda need to be getting touches are at the moment. Good early signs for them. Chance for Thompson. Hudson kicks it down towards half forward. Fist in there from Graham, knocked it away from Welsh. Well taken by Edwards, got it across to Thompson. Thompson goes down towards the pocket. Pitches about 5 metres in from the line. And 4 players, all of them, that quartet, wanted the ball out of bounds.
A couple of big assignments out there too. Massey's got the job on revolt after taking care of Franklin last week. And young Gilbert is playing on Bock.
Boundary throw in. Missed by Hayes, taken by Graham. Ball in trouble. Hand passes shy of the wing. Great balance by Doughty. Coming in on the angle was Harvey. Brilliant pick-up. Knights feeds it back. Rutten unloads. Inside the forward 50. Shirley worked in front. Kazitsky found it quickly on the ground. Comes across the ground. Milne into the action again. He'll need to be good. He was. He beat a champ. Knocked it to his own advantage. Fiora's away.
And on the burst of revolt. Good kick. See, the signs are good early.
They're sharp, aren't they?
And Tim, Adelaide have got it inside 50 3 or 4 times, and it's been high balls in, and they've picked it off the Saints pretty easily.
They've actually missed, what they'll need to do, some of the Adelaide players, is just lower their eyes. They've missed a couple of targets when they've gone forward, but Kaczynski's been good at actually running the corridor, and again it was he that got the ball around half-back.
Nick Riewoldt, 11 goals, 12 from set shots this year, and that makes it 11-13. So when you're in really good nick, you're around the 65%. And that nick isn't quite there at the moment with his set shots. But the Saints doing well early. Some fascinating matchups in this game. John Cock, such an important player like McLeod down back for the Crows.
They've done this well, St Kilda. They've held the Adelaide Crows up.
And they've put the pressure on now, and McLeod has to use John Cock. They need some magic, and he provides it.
Can't teach speed. John Cock's hand pass, though, not good when he should have kicked. Massey in desperate trouble. Was he pushed in the back? If not, it's holding the ball. Fiora will get the free. Plays on immediately. Montagna standing about 10 metres away. Long kick to full forward. Riewoldt. Well, had his approach interrupted not once but twice, and the ball bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
I'm not sure where the umpire was positioned then, but that looked like a free kick there. Oh, no. He may have over-exaggerated then, Riewoldt.
Hudson, interesting, but effective. Goodwin to midfield, coming back with a flight of it. Van Berlo, fingertips to it, missed it. Knights, claimed by Baker. Baker did well. Del Santo, now ball towards half forward. Kaczynski active at both ends of the ground, missed that one. Hudson on top of Clark, and the umpire, I think, will call for it. He has.
Hey, Dennis, at that last stoppage, right in the pocket there, they're prepared to roll the dice, Adelaide Crows. They actually hit the ball into where you would think is a dangerous position, but they're prepared to attack from deep in their defensive part of the ground.
Hudson's been very good early. Fiora won the tap to Doughty, to Edwards, to Riley, who's just come off interchange, and then Riley's kicks a beauty. McGregor's first touch tonight. He's had 4 very good games. The switch is on. Now Edwards will use McLeod, who said they weren't mates. And he drills it.
That is a beautiful example of modern day AFL football. They swept the ball from half back. They opened up the space. They operated beautifully going forward. And in the end, it was McLeod who had run from half back that finished it off. And we've seen him do that on so many occasions. Such a great weapon, but they broke and spread so well from that stoppage once they had control of the ball, and that's what they do so well, Adelaide.
His first goal of the season, and it was warm, that high five between he and Tyson Edwards as they celebrated.
No spares in either side's defence.
Back in the middle, Hudson again, stolen by Hayes. Now Graham creates some space. That's a telling kick coming up there as Clark hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Arriving quickly, Tawney dragged down. John Cock found a way through. Edwards, he's in brilliant touch. Shirley, Stevens, and now Goodwin going to half forward. Well, both sides looking very good, Nick. This is a high-quality game at the moment. Welsh goes down towards full forward. A lot of work being done. The umpire's blowing the whistle. Bock will get the free. Do we assume hands in the box? Oh no, over the neck.
Over the shoulder, around the neck.
They are so good at rebounding off half-back. If those kicks don't stick when St Kilda go forward, they're going to be chasing tail because they sweep the ball from defences as good as any side in the competition. Not much in that. There's the handball. That got the ball rolling from half-back. And there's Goodwin following up.
Well, having said that, that would have been a free kick in any era. He was preventing him going to his right, so Bock, who's really emerging as a player, will kick from 15 metres out. This for the lead. Goal umpire goes a fair way, but it's okay. Plenty of support behind that goal for Adelaide.
He might be the matchup that just gets under the guard too, this St Kilda defence. Maguire hasn't played a lot of football. We saw him give away a free kick late in the game against Collingwood last week. That was clearly a hold there against Bock. Just a little bit undersized in this battle. And I think Bock, at the moment, he's been picked up by Gilbert, and that would probably be the match. McGregor's moved up the ground now, and Maguire has Bock, but that would be one of the matchups that they're most concerned about.
Missed the first 15 games last year, did Bock. Wayne Jackson, South Australian, former Chief Executive of the Australian Football League, West Torrens League player back in Adelaide. Good left footer from the back line. So Bock doing well with his 24th goal of the season. And Adelaide get the lead for the first time tonight. Well, that was interesting because I think the players thought we'll have a ball up here, but the umpire waited and waited, and in the end the free kick goes to Hayes.
Now this is where they've got to think their way through it. This is better. Half kick to Fisher.
So Lee Fisher, he sweeps up, awkward handball. Montagna, he put him under the pump, and then that's not a great result for the Saints. Massey, Lee Fisher and Burton, and again the umpire now calling for it.
I'll go in.
So from Wayne Jackson, there's Andrew Demetriou with Rob Butters, who interesting article from Caroline Wilson today with the president and the former coach making up with the aid of the St Kilda priest. So Montagna again. Thompson hard at it.
Who else are the Saints, eh? Wrenching it out of there is Wiley. Kicks it about 25 metres back towards midfield. Whew. Down goes Fiora. Didn't stick the landing. McLeod did well. Back to Knights. Quality young man, this player. Kicks inside the forward 50. Wanders towards the pocket. More holding. And there's going to be a free kick again to the forward. Bock.
Size.
I thought you did.
Just watch it closely again. There's an arm being held. That's just the size of Bock getting away there from Maguire. Hasn't played a lot of football, as you said before, Bruce. That's a real concern for him, just being able to get back into those one-on-one body duels.
Adelaide, just the two frees, both to this man. They came in with fewest frees in the league. Two intelligent kicks to his side with he and his opponent. That one, not so good, the kick. His effort misses to the near side.
His last kick wasn't that convincing either, but he was just so much closer to the goal. It was more difficult for him to miss.
Del Santo to bring it in.
Gee, they've been hard in and under in the early stage of this game, Adelaide.
The quality has been terrific. So Baker told to play on now. Sends a high ball up towards the wing, tailor-made for the man at the back. That was Stevens. And it will be a free kick to the man who was in the middle. That's Blake.
Centres it to Del Santo. And then Del Santo caresses it to centre half forward and gets Gehrig on a long lead.
Gee, worked hard to get to that ball too, Fraser Gehrig. Started almost at the top of the goal square with his lead. A good kick by Del Santo.
Well, Gehrig has 20 goals, 19 from set shots. Look at that record at the Dome. He's got something going over the last couple of seasons, hasn't he? His average is very good here, and that is going to not make it or just get through for a behind. So a little hook from Gehrig there, trying to get that extra distance. How many goals do Gehrig, Milne and Riewoldt have to get, Tim? You talked to Ross Lyon at the start of the night. He thought 12, 13, 14. How many do Milne, Gehrig and Riewoldt have to get?
I think they've got to kick 9 between them.
Long kick in. Blake up in front, couldn't hang on, goes again, did well. Thompson slips it away, ball back to Blake, 3 times effective in there. Well done. Got it across to Thompson. His kick not good. Doughty, strong tackle, Del Santo. Yard out of there. McLeod back towards the middle. Got the 15. Spotted Thompson.
Now they've got the free man.
Stevens pushing up towards the defensive 50. Burton on for the short one. Gets it now. She's got sure hands. Burton started on the bench, nursing that right knee. In fact, both of them, if the truth were known. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Rashudo, one hand, up he went from behind. Rashudo's hurt. Meantime, the ball comes to Fisher. Fisher gets a hand pass away to Baker. Baker stops. Back to Maguire, who's been under enormous pressure so far. That's a nice kick. Whoa, guess who? Back in defence. Fraser Gehrig goes across the ground and finds a sprawling Robert Harvey.
That was a really good switch because it opened up the plans. We see Rashudo just limping back to his position.
601 games between them. Gehrig to Harvey. There's a little bit of experience there. Fisher sweeps it back to Harvey. He takes his time and it's a bad kick. And it's a disappointing result. Van Berlo cuts it off and then uses the run of Goodwin, who's a penetrating kick. Now McGregor fell over at the wrong time, but he was able to get rid of Fisher, and then Welsh cleverly to centre half forward.
Well, so that's a real win for Adelaide because Rashudo is actually limping off the ground at that time. So they were one down with their forward line. And here we see, this is how the injury occurred. It was his knee got, and then he landed awkwardly on the other, and he's gone and grabbed his ankle straight away, so he's rolled his ankle in that. He may be able to be taped up and brought back onto the ground.
So Burton from about 45 metres out, directly in front. Good looking kick, he's got it.
Ross Lyon would be really disappointed with that effort from his defence because they actually had one free defender when Rashudo was coming off the ground, but they still left so much space. They left so much space there for Burton to lead up as we see Rashudo. That's the injury. So his ankle has rolled, and there's Fisher getting underneath that ball, and Welsh, who's been picked up by Graham, just slotting the ball across to Burton.
Ricky Olorenshaw is down on the boundary, Rick.
Yeah, just giving you a report on Mark Rashudo. It is a right ankle. It was actually in the marking contest. It was the second effort he made going for the ball. He's gone straight down the rooms with the physio to be assessed, and you can see him there in the rooms with the physio.
Margin 11 points. The Saints looking very impressive in the opening 5 minutes, but now Adelaide is settling, and we know that Adelaide can play at this tempo. The question remains, can the Saints? Montagna is tied up. The immovable object makes it tough. Hopefully the Saints don't read that. Down goes Attard. Another bounce. Umpire Ryan.
Interesting, what they're trying to do is draw Rutten right up the ground. Fraser Gehrig's pushed right up almost to this stoppage in the centre of the ground, but Rutten stayed back across half-back free.
Marriage and Ricks flying over the top was ball only as far as Goodwin. That was a clever hand pass in midair. Taken high was Tawney, no free kick. And the umpire will do it again. Brett Steely Dan.
Revolt won't like this. He's got Rutten pushing back onto him. He's got Massey behind him.
Just outside the centre circles then. Split on the inside 50s, almost equal. Marriage is on the ball. Ball gets a kick inside the forward 50 onto the chest of Rutten.
That's where you've got to be really smart as a midfielder. You've actually got to take a quick look what's facing you down the field, just in case you do win a quick ball like Luke Ball did then.
So John Cock, Bock and Gilbert. So Maguire may have gone off him now. Gilbert with Bock again. Ball not coming out.
Sean's got it, must get rid of it. Sean's got it, Bock, he must get rid of it.
So 2 for 1. Box had a couple of free kick shots for goal. And now one against him.
If Gehrig will push too far up the ground, then Rutten's just not going to go with him, Bruce. He's going to stay back across half-back, so he has to engage him.
They defend the zone, those Adelaide defenders, don't they? And that's what he's doing. Some danger there. Maguire takes the mark now. He's got Fisher wide. So Fisher up to centre wing almost. He had Blake on. Short one, Ricks maybe inside. Now he's going to go to Ricks now. It's slow motion though, isn't it? Adelaide have got them where they want them right now. It's slow movement.
It's being played on their terms at the moment.
So back to Blake. Now Blake switches again. Harvey provided the first lead. Bangs high, revolt, Milner. Oh, Specky, Marriage. Good lead, good mark. Gives it to McLeod, gives it to Goodwin.
That's exactly what they want them to do, though. They want to slow the game down and force them to kick to a pack of players.
Be more careful.
Advantage is paid. McGregor was going to get the free. Knights to Rutten. There's no advantage. Couple of possessions, that's interesting.
Gee, they've got some frees here in the middle of the ground too.
McGregor looking like Harrison Ford in Mosquito Coast there. Gets a hand pass across towards a teammate and Stevens. Long kick inside the forward 50. Great mark. Coming across on the angle and claiming that one was Maguire.
Well, you could never doubt his courage.
Had his problems tonight so far. And those one-on-one duels with Bach, he's been from the Dan Brown School of Defence. Gripping. Now here's Sam Fisher in the back pocket. Short 1.5 distance kick made it difficult for Del Santo. And the Adelaide midfield right on top at the moment. Van Berlo, Doughty. Nicely picked up by Stevens, a tall fellow, but got down. Knights, that was an ambitious kick. Well, Baker took his eye off the ball. Knights got it. Shirley, Riley, Goodwin, Marriage. Now Knights can go inside the 50. Oh, clever. That was beautiful. Kicks it long and finds Harrison Ford 15 metres out on a very slight angle. McGregor should kick a goal.
What the Crows are doing at the moment, they're on top in general play. This is just a long kick. That's a massive leap there. But they're forcing St Kilda to play a really precise game. And at the moment, they just don't have the skills to be able to hit their targets. And then on the rebound, they're so good, Adelaide.
McGregor, we're right behind him. A goal here will hurt, and he's kicked it. That hurts.
Well, the best defensive side in the competition, Adelaide. And when you talk about defence, you're not just talking about their back six. You're talking about when they don't have the ball. They're really disciplined. They'll pick up their man. And that was really smart play. Overcommitted then. And that was a good deep kick, though. That was a perfect kick to the space for McGregor to run into.
So 10 goals for McGregor in 5 games this season. He was injured late last season, missed out, and so did Rashudo with the virus. Here's Aru at the moment, trying to get that ankle going without the boot on. He's only played 7 of the last 21 games for the Crows. He's had a whole heap of problems, so they'll be hoping like crazy that he can get back. If not tonight, then later this season. Van Berlo got it from Edwards, and Bach gave it to Goodwin. Good vision. He felt Van Berlo then Van Berlo's check side kick. Riley, they're making it taut for them at the moment. Good tackle by Burton. Didn't take him high.
He said no chance. He tackled straight away.
Just a couple of key matchups. McLeod's had 7. Fiora, who is matched up against him, had 2. Goodwin's had 7, and Adard, who's running with him, has had 1.
Hudson's having a super first quarter. Van Berlo kept his eyes on it. Free kick to Fiora.
Robbie, that's it, play on!
So Fiora to Montagna, Montagna to Harvey, Harvey from centre half back.
Across the ground, Burse, the former Bulldog, goes down towards half forward. Fraser Gehrig on the lead. His only other possession came in the back pocket.
That's where you can get Rutten to in a long lead like that.
Not a good kick. It wobbles down towards Revolt. Made it very difficult. The bounce eluded him. Burse's run on. Good running. Wonderful snap. That's what they needed. A spark for the Saints.
Well, it's a great kick by Burse. Just came out of absolutely nowhere. But the interesting move is that Gehrig is starting deep and then forcing Rutten to tag him all the way up the ground. Now, you can get Rutten on a long lead like that. He's not a particularly quick player. The kick from Gehrig wasn't a good kick to Revolt. It actually bounced at his feet, but that was just a marvellous snap from Burse on a really difficult angle. Take a bow.
Shane Burse, he's kicked goals in 3 of his 6 games this season for the Saints. And coming from the Doggies, he'd only played 3 games last year, so he'd really struggled. Thompson's kick inside the 50. Gilbert McGregor. Gilbert attacked hard but missed it. Welsh clever to Edwards, who comes in and misses. Welsh again showing some real fuel for his teammates. Lovely kick earlier tonight to Burton, and then that give reflex almost to Edwards, who probably should have drilled it. This is one of the big stories of the night, if not the biggest, isn't it? Rashudo, the captain, who kicked 4 last week. He's had a frustrating year. He missed the first 9 matches, missed the finals last year, missed a very important final against the Saints a couple of years ago when Adelaide were beaten in Adelaide, which probably cost them their big chance. Baker.
Good kick. Sam Fisher told to play on, had support just as well. Montagna. Gilbert is on the wing, looking down towards half forward. Revolt, as he always does, coming hard. That's a good kick, honoured the lead. Revolt 75 metres from goal. St Fraser on the move. It goes down in that direction. Awkward half volley. Nick wouldn't like to get them like that. Fraser doesn't either when the ball's out of bounds.
Their plan is very clear, though, isn't it? It's to get the ball to Fraser Gehrig on the lead against Ruttons. We see Rashudo, and he looks like he's prepared and ready to come back.
Boundary throw in. Well done, Revolt. Down to Montagna. This one is working back towards goal. And the last man in the queue got a touch on it. Stevens just as well. John Cock. The flag still waving to McLeod. Van Berlo is on. The man came over the mark. Well, that should have been 50. McLeod wanted to get the ball onto Van Berlo, who's been picked up now by Ball. Didn't matter, though. Edwards has got it. The one thing about Edwards, that's his 8th possession, is that you rarely notice it.
Keep coming, mate.
Now Bock. 75 metres out. He's just going to kick it high to a dangerous position. Got under this one. Clark's in front, missed it. Gilbert trying to find a way through. That was ambitious, and he's been penalised. Wow.
Threw it out. No handball there, Lenny. Scotty Welsh.
Umpire Jeffrey in perfect position. So Adelaide, as we said, not many free kicks coming in, fewest in the league. Yeah, fair enough, it was there, but as we've said before too, free kicks like real estate, about position. Well, they're getting them in position A, and they get their second goal from their 3rd free kick inside 30 metres.
That's where they count. That's where they hurt. He's had 4 touches, Welsh, and each of them have been productive and inside the 50. Here's a free kick again. Gilbert just beating off the tackle and just not making clean contact with the ball there, and that is a throw. Goodwin, McLeod, Edwards, each of them have had 8 touches already in this game. That's where the damage has been done further up the field. They're going to have to slow the control of those 3 players.
So Welsh 32 goals for the year. Let's go down to Ricky.
Yeah, just on Mark Rashudo, he's done 2 run-throughs around the boundary line. Spoken to the club doctor. He's definitely not happy with what the problem is with that right ankle. He's gone onto the bike just to try and warm up. He still doesn't look quite right. A bit of work to do there at quarter time.
So the Adelaide captain on the bike.
Pushed him forward.
So Burse, who kicked that specky goal 3 or 4 minutes ago, out wide to Lee Fisher. Dowdy with him and brings him down. No free kick, and then Knights gets back. What a season he's having, averaging 25. He's a good player, isn't he? He might have run out there, did he? So much poise, Knights. Taken very low in the draft. 56 in the 204 draft. What a pickup he was. So the free kick counts 6-4, but as Dennis said, it's just where the Crows have been getting them. Hudson's been winning the rucks. Harvey got it. It was a good handball from Fisher. And then Harvey inside 50. And that kick, did it bounce out? No, it'll be a boundary throw in.
Actually, it wasn't a bad result in the end, because had they gained possession of the ball, they had a clear path back the other way with an open forward line.
Brought up the chalk. Hudson doing very well. Got it down to Edwards. Back towards Hudson. He's a strong man, Hudson. He wants that football. Downey tried to come away with it. Got it to John Cobb. Now Thompson against the boundary. Thompson kicks it around the outer side. We're down to 35 seconds. Pitches just in front of Gilbert. Nicely worked by Douglas to McGregor, but he's going nowhere, suggesting he was across the boundary line. But the umpire, I thought, was going to pay a free kick. He's not, so it'll be a boundary throw in. McGregor tackled across the line as Rashudo joins the peloton. Knocked down in front. Edwards, the hand pass not particularly good. Harvey got it out. Tawney immediately tied up. Not in the best position there either, Tawney.
Thank you.
As they break.
Only the West Coast Eagles have more handballs in their back 50 than the Adelaide Crows. They get their numbers back there and then they gain possession of the ball and then they run and spread. They are masters at the counter-attack.
Van Bello over the back. And then Tawney, who did a great job on Crawford last week, and then Thompson's poor kick. Crows have been in front at quarter time in 11 of their 14 matches so far, and the Saints haven't been in front at quarter time since round 7, so nothing much will change. Adelaide fast starters, and they're going to have a handy lead at the break. Kosicki started very well in the first couple of minutes. John Cobb, Stevens.
John Cobb, front on contact by Steve Mills.
So it finishes with a free kick to the Crows. So at quarter time, the fast starting Crows have done it again. Rashido's injury, a major talking point. Adelaide lead it by 32-15 at the Dome. This is Friday Night Football.
Here at Wild Chat, our girls are selected by their wild rating. Let's meet some now. This is Sky. She's got all the right moves. This is Amy. She can make a grown man cry with her smile. And this is Beck. So hot, we're sure she's the cause of global warming. As you can see, our girls love wild text, and they're waiting for your wildest text now. Text WILD to 191030, Australia's hottest text chat.
Our next act are pianists. With their musical interpretation of what a man can do with the technology of advanced medical institutes. Sniff and stiff. To follow.
Could you teach me to play like Sniff and Stiff again?
Yeah, sure. Call Advanced Medical Institute and they can show you how.
1-800-311-311.
No city appreciates a sporting occasion like Melbourne. Grand Final Day is the ultimate. For a player, there's no greater thrill than running onto the G. For the football aficionado, the ultimate Grand Final experience is inside Centre Square. World-class hospitality and a prime seat at the game make Centre Square the ultimate way for you and your clients to enjoy one of the great days in world sport. Don't miss your chance to access the ultimate Grand Final experience. Find out more at centresquare.com.au.
The Tri-Nations Game 5 this Saturday live on Fox Sports. The All Blacks are still smarting from their loss at the G. Can the Springboks do our boys a favour by rubbing some salt into the wound? Don't miss a minute of this must-see clash. Only Fox Sports will deliver live, uninterrupted action nationwide, direct from Jade Stadium, Christchurch.
What a finish we've got here.
New Zealand, South Africa, Australia's most comprehensive coverage, Saturday night from 5:30 on 2. Fox Sports, your home of live rugby. Live 8:30 Mondays. Settle onto the couch with Gerard, Mike and Wolsey as they kickstart the footy week with uncompromising analysis of the latest news, results and opinions. On the couch. Live Monday, Fox Sports 1.
The Crows getting on top late and they lead 5-2 to 2-3. Darren Jarman, Aaron Hamill amongst our guests at half time. Neil Craig there with his men. They seem to have a strategy for Nick Riewoldt.
Well, he certainly looked good in the first couple of minutes. He led up on Chris Massey, and I thought, well, Chris Massey may be in a bit of strife. He did such a great job last week on Buddy Franklin, but then they just dropped one back on him, and that was always going to be pretty tough for him. He'll feature in the highlight reel on that one, but they certainly were prepared for Riewoldt's influence.
So Ross Lyon, who spoke to Tim prior to the match, and the Saints starting well here. Let's go down and join Stephen Silvani with Ricky.
Yeah, so she started Gehrig a long way up the ground. What was the idea about that?
Oh, we just probably want to take Rutten away from the goal square where he's very good, and maybe clear the forward line out for Riewoldt to work in.
And also in the midfield, Adelaide got on top in that quarter. What are you going to do to rectify that?
Well, they're winning the ground ball, so our midfielders are going to start winning a bit of the ground ball, give our forwards a bit of a chance.
Great. Thanks for your time, Sauce. And just an update on Mark Rashido. We saw him in that first quarter come off the ground with a right ankle injury. It wasn't actually in the marking contest. It was actually in that second effort. He rolled the right ankle. He spent that entire quarter-time break talking to the doctor and having a long fitness test. He will start this quarter on the bench. There's still a bit of work to do just yet.
And Ricky, you'll be talking to Mark on the half-time siren on the ground.
Fraser Gehrig hasn't seen a lot of the football. They've got to get their forward line functioning, make the most of their opportunities. Interesting matchup in the background there. Massey on Riewoldt, as you heard. Coming up at half-time, talking with Aaron Hamill, and there he is in the crowd. Speculation about his future. Will he go on? Maxie Hutchton alongside him. A lot of missed weeks between that pair. Start of the second term, Friday night football. Away we go. Kazitsky knocked it down. That's Burse at the base of things.
He had no chance.
Kicked a lovely goal. Had the ball at half back. Moments later had it in the forward pocket and snapped from an almost impossible angle.
Adelaide have got a free across half back, so St Kilda must have an extra player at this stoppage.
Well, both sides, a third man up, negated each other. Douglas, Edwards. Douglas once more inside the centre square. Wonderful, wonderful spotting. Goodwin, his 9th possession, played only 24 minutes in the opening term. Long down towards full forward, almost the big mark. Burton at the back of the pack. Bock goes with the outside of the boot and pops it through. Van Berlo, terrific.
Well, that's Bock's second goal, and gee, they spread quickly. Once they gained possession of the ball here, Adelaide, they went across to Goodwin. He just kicked it to a really dangerous part of the ground. Burton almost took the mark, but that was really quick hands off the ground there to Bock. Just watch this again. And that's as simple as you like in finishing off, but it was the work that was done further up the field.
Bock with 2 goals. Wonderful work. Van Berlo clear the path. He'd be happy with that. And then the hand pass from Welsh.
And Welsh has been terrific, hasn't he? He's been so constructive.
Yeah, it's not him necessarily kicking the goals, but it's his work at ground level creating the goals that's been so good.
So danger time for the Saints here. Crows lead by 4, and they've got a real sniff. And they've kicked 6 of the last 7. Shirley around the corner. Burton's acceleration was impressive there. He just ran off Blake. And then back to Bock. That was an interesting handball because Montagna and Shirley were together. He was good, Montagna. Back to Del Santo. Careful kick to Ball at centre wing. So Luke Ball. He's got Kazitsky running for him at centre half forward, and he's going to kick towards him, and Cozzy, there's a good effort. Stevens, very well done. He's in good nick tonight. Back to John Cock, who does this normally very well. Didn't panic. Back to Douglas, who's made an immediate impact. He's been in super form for Glenelg in the SANFL. Burton to Goodwin. Now, he normally has a very long probing kick. No exception. Well done, though, by Gilbert. He was able to work Bock off it. Maguire to Hayes, and then Hayes short to Burse, who's had a good 10 minutes of footy.
He went the wrong way then, Hayes. They had to go out the other side of the ground where they had numbers and space.
Hayes gets it back. Things now not looking too flash for the Saints.
Adelaide had set up a wall of players down this wing.
Hayes eventually takes Tim's advice and goes back to Fisher in the true centre half back position. Maguire runs inside the centre square, gallops away, telling kick, deep into attack. Plenty of Crows there at the back. A half chance for Milne. Milne battles on. Well done. Reaches in, tries to reef that one out, but his presence enough to win a ball up and against the odds.
I think in St Kilda's planning, they would be hoping at some stage if Rewalt can get right on top of Massey, Stevens might be his next opponent, but it'd be Bock that they'd be trying to get from one end of the ground, maybe to the other end of the ground.
So that stat there proves what we know. Good sides win anywhere. Van Berlo lays it off. Thompson, what a good player. What a good player to get away from Melbourne. This is Bock. Bock on the wing. Not his best kick. Will it get there? Well, it did. Tawney, Douglas, short one, McGregor will get the free.
Give it to him, Goose, now. Now come back here, mate. Keep coming. Come on.
So McGregor.
Two of their key forwards in that passage of play there, both Bock and McGregor getting away from their direct opponents.
So that's not a good kick. Intended for Burton, but some tall timber in front of him.
I know he was coming back on you, but take yourself. Okay, thank you. That's good. No, that's good.
I think it's unanimous. How about that?
On the logo back here, please, Brent.
Very crafty team, Adelaide. Agree with the umpires. How come they're last in free kicks? Maybe they've turned over a new leaf. So the ball goes towards the outer side and Hayes. Burton not in the contest. Rewalt having a run on the ball. He's standing in midfield at the present time. Could get a hand pass here. Not required. Clark, Montagna. This is Harvey. Harvey goes inside the forward 50. And Fraser comes up and takes the mark. Fraser Gehrig about 40 metres out.
I don't reckon they're going to get this many opportunities tonight. So once they get inside 50 with a set shot, they're going to have to kick with great accuracy tonight, St Kilda. 23
goals in 15 matches against Adelaide. Not a bad looking effort. Hit the post. Well, I would like $1 for every time Fraser has hit the post this season. He's kicked 31 goals, and I'm told it's 8 posters.
20 goals, 21 from set shots, Gehrig. So he and Rewalt from set shots this year are under 50%. And Adelaide could make them pay. The kick from Stevens just too high for Burton, and that is saying something for the Birdman. And then McGregor trying to get it out.
He works hard. Burton, he ran right up the ground there to try and present, or he did present. And as soon as he missed the ball, he turned around and went straight back towards the goal square.
He's a versatile player, isn't he? Del Santo, Hayes in close quarters. And then Del Santo did very, very well there. Ball, still with ball, Montagna. Del Santo, half volley was just terrific. Forced to kick in a hurry. Milne, clever, well done. Does that as well as anybody and kicks his second. Willpower, Tim. It was just willpower, and Del Santo was heavily involved.
That's right, and they tackle well here, Adelaide, but they just had the numbers. That was a wonderful pick-up there by Del Santo, and he just threw that straight onto his boot. What he actually connected with there was a beautiful torpedo that just carried a long way further than what John Cock expected the ball to do. He went then searching for Milne, who already had established best position because both feet were still on the ground, and they needed that one.
Much needed goal, margin 16 points. Set of clearances again favouring the Crows marginally. Their midfield has been quite outstanding. Still close enough if they're good enough, the Saints, as they say, those wise men. Hudson gets it away. Riley kicks inside the forward 50 after Van Berlo's early touch. Taken down there by Knights. Tried to go to Burton. Blake found it underneath his body. Fisher, fast getting a black belt in defence, did well to Harvey. Kicks it beyond the wing. Montagna, his 8th possession, slips it away, taken by Piora. Oh, well done. Beat Tawney. Goes long down towards full forward. Where's Fraser Gehrig? Working at the back. We've got a whistle, and it may be a free kick to Fisher, is it?
Right in front.
I'm not sure. I think he's paying the mark. Fraser's not giving it up.
Just the mark, yeah.
Couple more metres.
He read that beautifully then, Fraser.
Having hit the post. This should be a soda. And he comes and he kicks it. So the Saints suddenly digging deep and finding something.
He's been working really hard. Really hard, Fraser has been working tonight, and it was just the extra distance then that Fiore got. This is the build-up, and just going around that man then meant that he got an extra 3 metres on his kick, which meant that it carried to a dangerous part of the ground, and Fraser Gehrig was able to lose his direct opponent in Rutten, and he judged that ball really, really well. Here it is, Mills looking back, and Fraser coming into that space.
Couple of quick goals to the Saints. How's the Roo going, Ricky? Yeah, well, just before that goal, Mark Rashad actually came back on the ground, straight to full forward. While he's warm-up, was zigzagging, so just keep an eye on him because he might not be 100%.
Well, Gehrig and Milne and Revolt have got 3 of the 9 you reckon they have to get, Tim. A couple to Milne, but the Crows out of the centre again.
But the Saints with a couple of goals, putting a bit of scoreboard pressure on. Maguire got it
Worried away from him. Edwards was terrific. Welsh. Dowdy run down. Saints enjoying a patch. Hayes on Tanya. And then Hayes on the burst. Looking for Clark, who hasn't had a disposal.
Harvey's had plenty of it. The ball. And then Ball with a soft kick. A good one to Revolt.
Gee, wouldn't this be something if Nick could go back and hammer it and gets him? Well, Fraser can go back and hammer it home.
He's playing Rutten really well, Fraser Gehrig. He's working hard, which he has to do on Rutten, but he's getting him on the longer leg. Great tackle there by Luke Ball. There's a good kick too to Nick Revolt, but where they've been able to actually get some free ball now, St Kilda is in the midfield.
And I reckon by the end of the season, Rutten will be missing Bassett, don't you? What a combination they have been. So Gehrig, good-looking kick, he's got 2, and the Saints have got the last 3.
Now, what I'm really interested in now, Bruce, is Adelaide going into shutdown mode. Now, there's a 3-goal run-on from the opposition, and what they like to do in a circumstance like this is actually just try and win the momentum back, and the way they go about doing that is controlling the football and not being as aggressive and not being as hell-bent on handballing and running. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this.
And that goal, the 514th for Fraser Gehrig. That number, the bastion of left footers. He joins Peter Sumich, equal 41st all time.
A couple of spares, one at each end of the ground now. So St Kilda have a free player across half back. That's Fisher. And the Adelaide Crows pushing Bock now back behind the ball as well.
Talking about missing Bassett. I'm missing Bassett tonight as well. One of my favourites. Love watching him play footy. There's a free kick, a push in the back, and it's going to the Saints. It'll be taken by Luke Ball. So suddenly, out of nowhere, these St Kilda midfielders are finding the football. Squares it. Fisher loves this situation. Normally a good finish at 2 spots. Gehrig on the lead. He was in some heavy forest down there. Almost took the mark. Burst on his knees. Good when that was Fraser, the identified flying object going in the opposite direction. The scramble about 40 metres out. Held up is Riley. And Montagne's going to get the free.
Explain that one, Dennis.
Well, I had that upward inflection, Tim, indicating I had no idea.
Fraser not quite sure to do there because Shirley was running at him with his head over the ball. There's the first one out by Burst, picked up by Goodwin. Fraser misses it again. Goes to ground and...
Gee.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Montagne's got the football anyway. This for the lead. They'll compete a couple of metres out. In fact, no competition. That was Hudson launching himself. Interesting attempt. Didn't touch the footy. Behind it was offline.
Just didn't time it, but kept on floating.
St Kilda had 5 marks in this quarter inside their 50, so they are dominating in general play at the moment.
So the most interesting stage of this match right now, isn't it? Tim talked about the fact that Adelaide, when 3 goals are kicked against them, they normally go into a shutdown mode. And Tim, this is
that's exactly what they'll do. They want to try and turn the momentum of this game, and they're quite happy to just hit targets all over the field and draw St Kilda to them, just create some kicking lanes as they're doing now.
They famously did it against Collingwood in the opening round last year, and they've been able to do it since then.
St Kilda would have been aware of this, so now what they have to do is make sure they work hard to get on their direct opponent.
So Thompson to Bock.
Fisher's still free across half-back for St Kilda, so they will be able to find a free play if they work hard enough here, Adelaide.
So McLeod, who we haven't seen much of in this quarter, kick to John Cock. You've got to be so accurate. Puts Thompson under the pump. Gee, the Saints would love a turnover here, but John Cock's up for it. To Bock. And then Bock gets around a man, and then a high ball. Now, Tawney is a good flyer, but Kazitsky's a big man. He was in the front spot.
Great result there for St Kilda to force them to kick down the line with a big kick like that to Kazitsky, who was just camped across half-back. They had 10 disposals then, Adelaide, just to get the ball forward.
Montagna back inside the defensive 50. Gilbert's got it. At the top to Graham. So both sides just being very deliberate.
It's tightened up now, hasn't it?
Yes, this game marinating just a little bit as he hand passes forward. Fisher, that's better. Some run comes from Gilbert, 60 metres out. Can he get it to Maguire? That's a terrific mark. That was a strong mark despite the contact. It wasn't jarred free.
Thanks, Mike.
That was a good mark too.
That's a strong mark.
Yeah, Tawney did have the fly, didn't he?
Big job for Gilbert. He's been playing on McGregor and Bock at different times. Just kept his head then. An intelligent kick to the favoured side of Matty Maguire, who pushed forward from half-back.
Kicked a few goals along the way, but not too many to put them in front. He's got this one.
Touched off the boot, Dennis.
Was it touched off the boot? It was too. Well spotted, Tim.
So a couple of chances have gone begging, haven't they? Montagna from a fair way out, and then Maguire.
Been busy too, Montagna, this quarter. Had 7 disposals already. They'll have to tighten up on him, Adelaide.
Well, he's one of those midfielders who've really got involved.
He's pushed into the elite class in the competition, Montagna.
So McLeod got it from Dowdy, and then McLeod very short to Riley at half-back. So Adelaide just regrouping. They don't panic. So Riley has been told to play on, but he's in no hurry, and he finds Van Berlo. It was a good kick.
Back on you, Mark, please.
So Adelaide with a chance to go inside the 50. They haven't done that too often in the last 10 minutes.
The game's swung around, though, now. It's been played on St Kilda's terms.
McLeod just short to Doughty. Poor handball because Goodwin, the left foot he had on the wrong side, but back to Doughty, to Massey, to Edwards. Turnover here would be a huge win for the Saints. Edwards, good looking kick to Rashudo. Tawney read it best and then hooks it to full forward. Nilly Bock, probably a little bit stiff. Had a hand in the face, and away comes Cozzy. A long kick to Fiora and Stevens. Good one-on-one. Del Santo, clever.
Got it to Blake. Not a good kick. It bounces down towards half forward, as it turned out. Not a bad result for the Saints. Milne slaps it out. Taken by Hayes to Harvey. Forward of the wing towards half forward. Revolt.
He had one target then, Harvey. Just one target to aim for.
Revolt 55 metres out centre and kick. Hudson from behind. Too tall. Like Kazetsky moments ago at the other end. They work it away. Rutten gave it to Goodwin. Swings it towards the wing. McGregor hasn't seen a lot of it. Started pretty well. To space. Van Berlo won't get across to cover. The mark is taken by Fisher.
That's pressure.
The Saints launch from behind the wing. Montagna to burst once more in the self-same position. Revolt takes the mark. Perhaps about 5 steps closer to goal. Last time he sent it. Gehrig offers a lead to the pocket. Now he wants it long. He's not sure where he wants it. And Revolt decides he will go back, and he's thinking seriously about trying this one. He'll kick from about 52. Not a bad looking kick either. They compete about a metre at it. Still a live ball. Stevens got it, stepped across the line.
Crows haven't scored for nearly 18 minutes here. Saints have kicked 3-4 in that time. They're creeping up, aren't they? They can't quite get there within a point.
Revolt's had 7 marks now, so for this quarter he's getting on top of Massey. He's providing that conduit for the players when they come off half-back.
And Milne and Gehrig have got 3 goals in this term and 4 between them, so the big gun's going okay forward. It's good mark by Tawney. He's having a terrific season. A bit of an up and under kick. Bock the target. Well done, Gilbert.
That's where they've done really well this quarter too. Their defenders are getting on top of their direct opponents. There's a touch. Stevens just went through his hands. Just a missed kick off the boot there by Maguire.
It's good awareness by Stevens on the mark there.
Terrific.
So Adelaide inside their centre wing, but not inside the 50. And this is where the Saints have turned this all around. It was Hayes to Fiora to Baker through the centre.
Kicks down towards half forward, 1-on-1, coming across on the angle and doing brilliantly. Making it 2-on-1 was Massey, and the two prevailed, particularly the man who finished up with the foot. He did it mostly by himself. The Clouds kick is chopped off by Fisher. Hand passes it forward. Saints playing for the lead here. Fiora down towards the attacking 50, and guess who? And suddenly the height of revolt is coming into the equation.
They're going to have to look at that matchup now with Massey.
Revolt short, Fiora not 15. Saints unlucky there because he could have gone back and drilled that. Harvey in trouble, bursts free. Fiora still a chance. They skirt the perimeter, going back just outside the 50 is Fisher. Kazitsky alongside, it's 2-on-1. Kazitsky's got it now, too far out to score. Looks for burst over his head, but the mark is paid to Massey.
The other area, Tim, where they've let themselves down, the Crows, they've missed targets.
Yeah, pressure.
McLeod, McGregor and Bock have all missed targets going forward in this quarter. And now McLeod sweeps it out wide to Doughty, who goes down the line to the fast-running Riley. So let's see if Adelaide can deliver. That's better to Burton.
1 metre in front, Jimmy!
Good-looking kick, and Rashudo off the mark. So Ricky talked about the fact that he had real problems moving laterally, but he could go in a straight line.
And this is his first touch of the night too, Rashudo. They got it there quickly, which meant that their forwards had plenty of room to operate in. St Kilda didn't have time to shuffle back and fill the spaces.
I reckon he's one of the best set shots I've seen in a long, long time, Rashudo, but he's 5'4" this year from set shots. He's normally an 8 out of 10 man. Not an easy kick. Can he bring it left to right? That's his normal. He brought it left, but it didn't come back. And Adelaide miss, as the Saints have been missing at the other end. So a 2-point game deep into the second quarter.
Coming off 4 goals last week, Mark Rashudo. What amazing transformation. How can a team playing with such confidence suddenly fall away? Tamburlo will send it back in. Graham's kick not good. Just pops it inside the 50. Oh, that was a strong Mark Burton. Spread eagled his body, created a lane for the ball and gave Blake no play on it. They need a goal. It's been about 20 minutes since they scored their last one. Margin 2 points. Brett Burton comes in, kicks and hits the post. So the change in the Crows, a bit like Paris Hilton before and after incarceration. In the back pocket, this is Fisher.
Just think the Crows aren't going as well as they were. Paris has improved, hasn't she?
On the surface, apparently. New person.
I reckon you're working on another book.
Got to get her diary. I think that'll be terrific on Friday Night Footy.
That's ambitious, Dennis.
Great name for a book.
Maguire. Fiora.
That's better.
To Hayes.
Good kick there by Fiora, just to lower his eyes when he came through the midfield. There was nothing beyond Hayes.
To Harvey. Just feel like the half-time lead's an important one for the Saints. If they can get it, it's a statement, because they were way down, weren't they? 4 goals back. 9 marks now to Revolt. Don't reckon Massey will mind him getting them at centre wing. It's where he gets them inside the 50 that'll hurt.
Play on, play on.
So Revolt, he goes high and long, and Gehrig's a chance. Not quite. Rutten second go. Burst. No, not this time. So they sneak up again, aren't they? It's like they're hiding behind something and just trying to sneak the lead off the Crows. McLeod to Marriage. to Edwards. That's okay now. Now Shirley's got a problem.
In trouble, Shirley was taken down. They've made it hot for some of their teammates. Douglas was over the football. Shirley came again. Fraser's in there with his clodhoppers. Eventually it spills out to Ball. Ball did well to Fisher. Now a chance for Fraser. Well, it was charged down. Gehrig's kick ricochets to Shirley. Now McLeod pushing up the ground. High ball towards the outer side. This will be interesting. Welsh battling Graham. Welsh went to ground. Not a good result. Graham, as a result, 2-on-1. Kicks it past the one. Riley bounces it down to Harvey. Harvey to Fisher. Lee Fisher spots Revolt. Well, he mistimed his leap. And getting back, Massey runs it across the line. Well, that's deliberate.
Got to make a better effort than that, mate. He's walked straight across the line.
What about Revolt?
Better effort than that. You're 5 metres clear of everyone. And no one around you. Play on!
Revolt runs around. And there's the lead. What a finish.
That was a long time in the build-up then from Revolt, but Massey lost him. Massey actually took off up the ground, and he was trying to get back as quickly as he could. He was signalling to players actually further down the ground. This is a free kick, and clearly that's a free kick. I mean, that's deliberate, as Nick Revolt pleaded to the umpire then. But he was so tired. He'd run up the ground, Massey. He actually had to sprint back, and I think the last thing he wanted to do was actually change direction again there.
So Revolt becoming an important figure in this quarter. And the big three, Tim, have now got 5 between them. Milne, Gehrig and Revolt. Lee Fisher just missing the target, didn't he? That was a gimme goal had he done it, but Revolt made the most of the free kick.
This has been a really impressive second quarter by the Saints. They've taken it up to Adelaide, particularly their midfielders. That's where they've really got on top. Montagne's been a good player. Hayes has been a good player. Harvey's got a lot of touches this quarter as well.
They've kicked the last 4 goals.
I'll be honest, I was too close. I couldn't get it. Look at it. Thank you.
Give us your top 4, Tim.
Well, Montagna, Hayes, Bock, McLeod, and so Revolt probably should be in and about there somewhere as well. He's been terrific.
Changing by the minutes. That sort of game, though, isn't it? Ball from Harvey. Well, that hurts.
Now, bring it back. You've got to let him have a run. You can't just hold him by the arm.
So you can hear the explanation. That hurts the Saints, doesn't it? They were away. And now suddenly the Crows have got a late chance. They had to go wide. Tawney made the lead. Now he backtrack. He's able to play on, gets inside 60, and then bangs it to full forward. Burton with a big fly. But through for a behind.
That was a poor tackle there by Milne. There was no way that he had to actually go for the... This is a free kick against Baker, holding on to Edwards, disallowing him from running away from the stoppage. But Milne just had to keep his body low then when he went at the tackle.
43 seconds remaining in the half. Graham to himself starts the clock. Now Gilbert, man on in the opposite pocket. That's ignored. Goes to a 2-on-1. The kick of an experience. Knights, and that could be. Could have been.
Take the mark.
Maguire pleads his case. It wasn't 50. That's what I was on about. As Knights kicks inside the forward 50. Where's Burton? Somewhere in that pack. Now he's lurking behind. Getting back is Graham. He's outnumbered. He stopped it well. Still got problems. Montagna pushed across the line. Clock stops at 13. Wry smile from Burton.
Kaczynski was good at that contest too, that marking contest, just getting back there and smashing the ball away.
Marriage, big responsibility here. Knocks it down. Welsh didn't have the football. Marriage taken down. Doughty smothered off the boot, and the danger may have passed. Harvey, a hand pass, untidy, but there's the siren for half-time. What a terrific turn by the Saints. They trailed by 17 points at quarter time. They have stormed back to take the lead by 3. It's 6-8-44 to 6-5-41. This is Friday Night Football.
Here at Wild Chat, our girls are selected by their wild rating. Let's meet some now. This is Sky. She's got all the right moves. This is Amy. She can make a grown man cry with her smile. And this is Beck. So hot, we're sure she's the cause of global warming. As you can see, our girls love wild text, and they're waiting for your wildest text now. Text WILD to 191030, Australia's hottest text chat.
Our next act are pianists. With their musical interpretation of what a man can do with the technology of advanced medical institutes. Sniff and Stiff. That's a hard act to follow.
Could you teach me to play like Sniff and Stiff again?
Yeah, sure. Call Advanced Medical Institute and they can show you how.
1-800-311-311. It's easy to find the best live footy every weekend. You just need to know where to look. Port wore their prison bars but were locked up by the Dogs. Saturday from 3, can the Eagle Eyes of West Coast stop the Power making a jailbreak and busting back into the 8? Amazing goal! Then at 7, it's on for young and old at the Gabba. Rookie Riley's 1 from 1, but this week his D's face Lethal Lee and the Lions, fresh from an upset in the West. They have triumphed against the West Coast Eagles at Subiaco. A record-breaking Swanee got his boots off last weekend. But guess who's ready to pull his back on when Sydney get in a blue 1 o'clock Sunday? Then stay on board as the Kangas and the Dockers line up for a shootout in the Twilight Zone. 4 o'clock footy on Fox Sports. He is in the zone. AFL Saturday, Port Adelaide, West Coast at 3, Melbourne, Brisbane Lions at 7. Then on Sunday, Sydney Carlton from 1, Fremantle Kangaroos at 4. All live on Fox Sports 1.
We should all pray for rain.
Where's our water? Everyone's asking, and the Weather Channel's got the answer. H2 Overview. Australia's only comprehensive dam level report, giving you a daily insight into everything you need to know about our most precious resource, today and into the future. H2 Overview, 1/4 hour, every hour, exclusive to the Weather Channel.
MotoGP from Germany, live on Fox Sports 3. If Rossi was worried about Stoner's championship lead, he sure didn't show it.
This is a big moment for the Doctor here in Assen.
To prove it, he sliced from 11th to reel in the flying Aussie frontrunner.
The Doctor is back in business.
And lit up the championship chase for the next race at the Saxon Ring. MotoGP from Germany, 6:45 Sunday night, live on Fox Sports 3.
Let's go down to Ricky at the start of the third quarter. Roo reckons he was going to tough it out with his ankle. How's your hamstring with that dash off the ground?
Yeah, thanks very much. I just couldn't quite keep up with Roo. Bit of a sore hammy, had a massage at half-time, so I will be right for the second half. But someone who won't be right for the second half is Ben Rutten. He didn't run out with the team. He comes straight to the interchange bench. He's got his right calf iced up and his left knee. So there's a massive injury concern there on the Adelaide bench. And Mark Bashir will also start on the bench with that ankle injury.
Big news there. Start of the second half, Friday night football. St Kilda lead it by 3 against the odds. Wonderful second term. Van Berlo feeds it back. McLeod smothered off the boot. Great work by Kazitsky. Socket forward by Montagna. Almost the mark. Revolt. Goodwin gets a hand pass away. Clever Doughty. Now it's Edwards. Swings it wide. Good kick into the path of Thompson.
Do you know your side's on when you see your ruckman actually affect a smother like that?
They came from the clouds, the Saints. Where else? In that second quarter, it was all Adelaide until about 15 minutes before half-time. Here's Bock. Started the game with a spate of free kicks. He's kicked 2 goals. Just pops it over the top. Hudson, who's been terrific. Cruising past is Bock, the man who kicked it to Hudson. Running down towards half-forward. The short one, pitched in front of Marriage. Wrenched away by Maguire. A couple of Crows battle after the football. over the top Milne. Down goes John Cock. And the umpire lets them rock and roll out there and now calls for the footy.
They're good at replacing players, the Adelaide Crows, because they do play to a system, but it is going to unbalance them having both Rashudo and McGregor out of that forward line now.
And Tim, both Hudson and Marich are out there at the same time, which is unusual. So the structure could be a problem. Real chance for the Saints. Goodwin's handball cut off, back to John Cock, who hasn't had a kick tonight, but that's his 9th handball. Doughty to Stevens. Well, Riewoldt was good. Nick read that best, and Scotty Stevens was just a bit too slow. And now it's a bit of a tug of war. So 44-41.
This is the second great smother this quarter. One by Kosicki, this one by Riewoldt. They're right on top of their game at the moment, the Saints.
Their stars, in inverted commas, have played well tonight. Baker dropped it. Doughty, Van Berlo, and up and under. Who's quickest off the mark? Bock. No mark paid. He's been good, Bock. Thompson, Edwards. Saints swarming, aren't they? They're strangling Adelaide at the moment, and that's what the Crows tend to do so well. How's this from Match Fact? Ben Rutten has missed 13 minutes in 2.5 seasons, and there he is. Sometimes, Dennis, is just one of those nights.
Glad Rathman. Nice. Out towards the boundary goes Harvey, being held without it. He'll get the free.
That's an amazing stat. He's been on the ground for every bit but 13 minutes in the last 2.5 seasons.
That is amazing. Here's Harvey. His record too amazing. Game number 353 tonight. Luke Ball. He's found a bit of form, particularly in that second term. Comes across the ground. Got there in time. Hayes. And Burlow was bearing down. 7 upon 7.
They had to find another way inside the 50-metre arc. The Crows had built up a wall of players.
Hayes jabs it inside the 50, and Riewoldt creates some space. Got the separation, takes the mark. Okay, can he finish the job? He's kicked one. When he first came to the competition, he was a dead-eye Dick. But now his confidence is low when he shoots at goal. This a huge kick in the context of this game and perhaps the season. Riewoldt's style is good. The result is good. Things are looking good for the Saints.
They worked their way through that really well too, St Kilda. They huddled at the 25-metre mark out from the goal square. They created some congestion there, and then they worked their way from that pack, and that's how he got free. Came from behind. And he works so hard, Nick Riewoldt. We saw a moment ago where he actually affected a smother, and that was a good kick there by Hayes too. He's now taken 12 marks for the game.
So Riewoldt, 12 marks and no Rutten down back. Ricky, what's going on there?
Yeah, well, I do have the news on Ben Rutten. In the last contest, just before half-time, he copped a heavy knock to the calf. And the bad news for Adelaide fans is that he is gone for the game. So you can add 60 minutes to that 13 minutes you were talking about, Bruce.
And no Bassett as well, of course, out for many, many weeks. So Adelaide on its knees here. We're going to find out something about the Crows tonight. We're finding out something about the Saints. They've kicked the last 5. They did kick the last 6 last week again. Well, they kicked 6 in a row against Collingwood last week and then ran out of gas. But tonight they've made their move slightly earlier.
St Kilda right on top at the moment. In the contested possession that second quarter, they swung that around to the Saints, 27-16. So what they're prepared to do is get in lower and harder and win the ball. And then their chasing, tackling, pressuring skills have been outstanding.
They're just denying the Crows the footy, aren't they? Harvey gets it back from Fisher, then a brilliant handball. Releases Hayes. Not a great kick. Makes Riewoldt work very hard. Massey. Riewoldt's got him. Handball by Ball to Montagna. Montagna's little under. Handball comes out to Ball. And he misses. Should have hammered it home.
Just one goal this season for Luke Ball. Round 10 against Geelong. And suddenly, Neil Craig with a bit to do. Who would have thought he would have found himself in this situation so early in the third term, midway through the second? Changing face of this game has been remarkable. big pack. It was Fiora from the back. He paddles it towards the boundary. Del Santo has been pretty quiet. Got it across to Montagna, who's been busy. Edwards, a fumble, goes after it, socked away by Baker, and it goes out of bounds.
In the first quarter, St Kilda could not find a free player anywhere on the ground, but every time they get the ball now, they've got 1-2 options.
Saw Ross Lyon on the phone. Hudson gets a hand pass away, but Saints onto it. Harvey in the thick of everything at the moment to Fisher. Finds a way through. Kicks down towards full forward. Going back with courage. Stevens couldn't hang on. Fraser just put it down. Just put it down. John Cock quickly pops it out wide. McLeod close to the boundary line into the path of Shirley, who has to pull up shy of the wing. Looks back towards the middle. Half distance kick. Van Berlo plays on. Good kick under pressure. Finds Knights.
Great kick. It was a very good kick. Knights, who was so good in the opening term, and again a target missed.
Well read then. That was really courageous then by Montagna. Just read that play beautifully.
19th disposal. He's having some wow of a night, isn't he?
Look at the run now.
Graham on the end of it from Blake, and then Graham to revolt too fast. Stevens with him. Feel like we're going to be calling a fair bit of revolt tonight. Good handball by Goodwin to Riley to Thompson. It's like someone switched the Crows off. Who can flick the switch to make it happen for them? Marriage. It's 50.
Held him down. Came on top of him.
That's a terrible 50 metres to be giving away.
He's had a tough night, Maguire. First game back on this ground since he broke his leg.
He's glad you reminded him of it. But
And hold him down. Here's the mark. You go back.
no argument from him, but as you said, an awful free kick to give away against the flow, giving the Crows a real chance here. They got free kicks and goals in the opening term, didn't they? Bock had a couple of shots. Welsh got one. So they kicked 2 goals from free kicks in the opening term.
The Crows have now made a change at the other end of the ground too. Stevens has gone to revolt.
Well, it's 37 minutes since the Crows have kicked a goal. Has Marriage got it home? He's happy. They've got one at long last.
And they need some help too to get the ball inside their 50. The St Kilda defenders have been doing a really good job man on man shutting down, and the other midfielders have been good at dropping back into those spaces. Here's the build-up, and that was the ball to Marriage, and that's just not in the marking contest. Rolls over the top, and it's this bit here where he holds him up, and there's not much in it, but you are not allowed to do that.
7-9-7-5. Margin 4 points. Here's what happened just before half-time. And to play that amount of football, you have to have some luck, but that's rotten luck. And he's sitting it out. Back in the middle. Rucks go at it. A force of passage there. Kazitsky. Still Kazitsky going. Riley had it momentarily. Knights at the base of it, and will have a bounce.
And that's the one early in the game that Adelaide were actually getting away from. They were getting that first handball out. They had the spread, then they had the run from the stoppage. But St Kilda have been terrific at being able to nullify them.
Over the top, Shirley. Follows it up, Shirley. Needs to be careful in there. Spills wide. Fiora taken down by Dowdy. Trying to back out is Baker.
Talking about backing out, Del Santo backed out of that contest too, losing Shirley.
Oh. What about the start to the term by that man? Obscured for the moment, Robert Harvey. He was working overtime like a Baghdad plumber in the opening minutes of this quarter. Overrunning the ball was Ball. Trying to slap it out of there was Riley. Well done, Hayes. Fisher bursts through. Not his best effort. He was affected as he kicked. There was contact, but the kick was a little wayward. Even so, a behind, and the margin is out to 5 points.
There's 2 shots now that they've missed that they should have not St Kilda in this quarter.
It was all open for them, wasn't probably the wrong way to go to burst there. Now McLeod to Goodwin. That was so good in the opening term. Now Goodwin has to tap it down. He just had nowhere to go. And he has to be careful here, and he just pushes it to Massey.
Gee.
No, it was clearly 15, mate. That's okay.
And just the argument about how far the kick was. Knights gets it from Massey. And then Hayes has to do the running. And then Knights inside the 50. Bock the big fly. Front spot was Kazicki, and he did very well to Blake. Tim Montagna's having a match. Hayes has worked hard. Burst having a bit of a game. And this is a terrific build-up. And Fisher's on the burst.
One bounce, Sam Fisher. Runs beyond the wing, inside the forward 50. Oh, clever by Milne.
He grabbed that mark, Milne, and he looked straight at the umpire as if to say, now, have I done anything wrong? Great running again by Fisher. He's been a good player, Fisher. This is where they're getting free across half back and doing all the damage because the Adelaide Crows players can't shuffle back quick enough to help out their defence. Just watch this. There's the bump. Looks up at the umpire. That okay?
That was a great call by the official too. Just 10 metres away. Perfect view of it. Didn't overreact. It's not a good kick to the opposite pocket off hands and just sneaking in for a behind.
I reckon it's the third one they should have nailed inside 50 this quarter, St Kilda.
McLeod unloads all of 60 metres. Finds Doughty on the outer side. Doughty wasting no time. Shirley runs to space and he's away. Can they move it quickly now, Adelaide? They need something. At the moment, they're being beaten at their own game. That's Bock in there banging away. And the umpire will ball it up.
Well, they're going to try and actually shut the game down a bit, Dennis, because at the moment, St Kilda have got all the run. Fisher's playing as a free player across half-back, but he's doing more damage than Adelaide's free player, who's Massey at the moment.
Feel like, Tim, their best chance is a low-scoring game, don't you? Because it's the Saints that seem to have the goal scorers. Goodwin, good handball again, and finds Shirley. Shirley had to stop and then prop and then go to Rashudo, who's outnumbered. Welsh was quickly onto it. Maguire in the pocket. Douglas tries to crash through, ball up. It's boundary throw-in.
It was Fisher that came across too, almost marked the ball. He's the free player, so he's not just doing damage running with the ball, he's actually getting back into the right spots to stop their forward movement.
And that's an amazing stat. Just 6 out of 72. The Crows have conceded 100 points or more in Neil Craig's tenure. Tawney. Welsh. Won't be a score. It's a play on ball. Marriage did okay. Burse was crunched and gets a free kick. He's done well, Burse. He's not pretty, but he's got a fair bit of it.
Get the feeling he could be playing for his future. Clark, Harvey has fallen out of favour, Burse, but tonight I'd suggest he's back in favour. Harvey carries the ball. 20th possession to half forward, a telling one. Not breaking stride. Revolt pulls it back. Running hard, the little man. Milne almost took the mark. Del Santo is through. Open goal square. Missed the footy, or did he? It came off the sock, I would have thought. Well, I thought he made some contact. He didn't stay to argue, so obviously the goal umpire called it right. And the umpiring tonight in all positions has been very good. This is Tawney. Got it from McLeod to half forward Rashudo. 65 metres out. Angling back towards the square is Bock. Rashudo thought about it. Harvey comes from behind. Play on was the call. Riley's got it. His kick was smothered by that man, Burse. Well, Saints have the numbers, but certainly the attitude came from Riley. Socketed towards the 50. Wells back to Riley. Hard against the boundary line. Centering kick. Pretty good one too. Doughty. Well, he flew. Fingertips to it. Couldn't hang on. Thompson runs away from goal. Marriage a chance now. The big guy attracted two. As a result, Massey is left free. Snaps. Hangs a long time in the air. Gilbert did brilliantly. Came in and assaulted the football.
Del Santo did all the work in actually setting that goal up, but couldn't finish it off. And St Kilda's defence under enormous pressure in this last couple of passages of play, but they're standing up okay.
McGregor had a couple of goes to touch it. Thompson read that well, and his kickers are behind. Not sure if Kenny actually got his hands on it, but a point given. 7-12, 7-6, so 6 more scoring shots, 6-point game. Goals hard to come by, particularly for the Crows.
And 4 of those goals, 4 of their 7 have come from free kicks, Bruce.
Adelaide have kicked 1 goal in about 44 minutes of footy. Gilbert put Harvey under the pump. He was up for it. Clark, that was clever. And then he puts Harvey under the pump again. But he's been doing it for 20 seasons. Fisher to Blake. Blake, long ball inside 50. Garrick, almost. He had it, didn't he? I reckon he was just counting it. McLeod, out wide. 20th disposal for McLeod. Doughty. But it's slow motion for the Crows. They can't break the line in a hurry. They're building and building. Being careful. Massey's done well here. He's run hard off Revolt and got to half forward. Now, can he go all the way? No, he goes short, and there's a good kick to Welsh. Well, full marks to Massey because Revolt's giving him a tough time tonight.
He thought his way through this really well too. That was smart play.
He's kicked 27 goals, 7 from set shots this year. That is a super return. Crows need this big time to level the scores. Has he got it? He's a dead-eyed Dick.
But that passage of play, Bruce, all started with McLeod across half-back. He went one way. He realised that that wasn't where they had the numbers. That's not where they had the attacking space. So he went back across the ground. It was an intelligent kick, and that's where they got the ball moving on the outer wing. And this is good finishing. As you said, 83% he's been kicking out this season, Scotty Welsh.
Ricky Renshaw.
Well, Nathan Bock has just come off the ground a couple of minutes ago, just before that goal. And in the second quarter, he actually twisted and kicked and hurt his right groin, which has been carrying through. But he has had a good chat to the physio, and he doesn't look quite right with that right groin problem.
Scotty Welsh has got 2 goals. Good game of football this. We've been blessed on Friday nights. Marriage gets it out. Knights flicks it up. Taken by Goodwin. Doughty, now McLeod, 60 metres out, long down towards full forward. Hudson launches, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Blake heads back towards the goal line, elects to keep it in. Maybe not the best result. Clark missed it, Graham didn't. Well played. McGuire gave it to Blake, now Fisher. Good stuff, slick by the Saints. Hayes in midfield. Revolt on the burst, got separation 55 metres out. Milne offers a lead, goes long instead to Gehrig, and Gehrig has taken the mark. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle.
The fascination in this game at the moment is that McLeod is the free for Adelaide across half-back. Fisher is the free for St Kilda across half-back. Both those players at the moment are initiating attacks for their side. It's just what they can do once they get the ball inside their 50 and the finish off they get with their play.
Fraser Gehrig. Big kick. Good kick.
He's been really good tonight, Fraser Gehrig. He started the game well. He was disciplined. He was really smart before Rutten got injured. As we see Fisher here, he's the free player. He started that run from half-back. And they've had a lot of width in the midfield. St Kilda, since about quarter time, they've been able to get the ball freely through the midfield. And when you can get the ball freely through the midfield and you've got winning forwards like Revolt and also Gehrig to aim for, it's an enormous advantage.
No Rutten important here too, isn't it? No Rutten on Gehrig for the second half. Look at the marks inside 50. Saints dominating in that second quarter.
Right up now.
So St Kilda back in front. They've got 7 between them. Milne, Revolt, Gehrig. You said 9 might be the total they need. Right now they're on the money. Burse to Hayes, 21st disposal. Inside the 50 to space. Milne's been busy. He and Johncock has been a good duel. Good one-on-one stuff. Fisher to Ball, and then Ball centering kick. Montagna brought the ball down. McLeod searched for it, and probably not unhappy that it rolled over the line. Edwards so good over such a long stretch. Sits it out for the moment. Shirley in the background. Bock. Adelaide with a lot of injury problems. Rashido's ankle, and then Rutten's important injury, and now Bock. Here's Burton deep. Held it up for Doughty. He stopped and then propped, and again doesn't want to deliver without giving it to somebody. Welsh the fly. Saints with the numbers, and a boundary throw in.
Courageous again by Fisher. He's the free player back then. He was sort of crouching down, hoping that he wasn't noticed, but then he had to, and was drawn back into the contest, but he didn't flinch.
Ross Lyon on the phone. Born in 1966. A special year for Saints supporters. Trying to take them back to the finals. And this game is pivotal. Wonderful stuff, McLeod. Worked his man off the line of the football. Fiora goes across the ground. Stevens has got it. Massey is running. Stevens decides to go to half forward. Welsh in front. Spilt the mark. Should have taken it. Recovered pretty well. On the ground. Hand passed it straight to Graham. Montagna. Ball. Attard feeds it forward. Burst running down towards half forward. Graham back to Burst. Make a name for yourself, son. Burst kicks his second. Oh.
Their midfield run is the troubling factor now for the Adelaide Crows. Across half-back, once they sniff that they're actually going to gain possession of the ball, they spread, they create options, they've opened the middle of the ground right up to attack through, and that's the way that you need to finish off that sort of work. Burst has had 15 touches tonight. I think Dennis called it correctly. His season was on the line, or his career was on the line tonight.
Well, in a 4-year period of the Doggies between 03 and 06, he played 33 out of a possible 90 matches and then came to the Saints.
Well, he started the season, he got dropped after the first game.
So 12-point margin. Saints with a real grip on this now. They've had 7 more scoring shots. If Adelaide lose this match tonight, they could be out of the 8.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think Harvey's got a bit of a problem too, Bruce.
He's just come off the interchange back into it, so he's been so good again tonight. And here he is on the left. McLeod read it best, but under pressure. Oh, toe poked it cleverly. Kicks a good one to Marriage. He's a super player, isn't he, McLeod? Marriage, promising. Kicked an important goal in this quarter, and that's a good kick to Burton. Perhaps Burton is the best chance for the Crows forward. Riley breaks the tackle and then kicks the ball to goal and just floats far behind. Just wondering, Tim, whether Burton's the go-to man forward for the Crows. Such a good goal kicker, former leading goal kicker at the club.
Harvey's got it. I have to tell whether he's okay or not. He was hobbling through that last set of bounce. And running down the ground, he didn't seem to be moving freely as he jabs this one, not 15. Comes to Hayes, back to Harvey. Now he fumbles, and the ball, I thought, was out of bounds. Not called. We had a good angle on that one. Riley brilliantly to Rashudo. Oh, that was a big call. Or non-call, as the case may be.
Line's good, Lou. Mark's here where you marked it.
Line ball.
Room service. But we were looking right down the line. Rashudo's got the ball in any case. Doesn't care. That's history. He'll kick from 25 metres out. Rashudo comes in and gets it.
They've had to work hard for their goals tonight, the Adelaide Crows. Rob Harvey, it was a difficult situation for him. He really wanted to play the ball out. They were a 2-on-1 situation. Here it is. Hayes held onto the ball, wasn't able to grab it cleanly. And look, that's a difficult decision for the boundary umpire. He was in a pretty good position to adjudicate. Let's just get this overhead shot of it. I reckon he's made the right decision. The whole ball had to be over the line.
Important goal for Rashudo. What is up with Robert Harvey, Rick?
Well, just with Robert Harvey, he has been to the interchange bench a couple of times this quarter, but he has never had any treatment or spoken to the medical staff about it. So if he is injured, he is trying to hide it from his own team.
So 5-point margin. Captain gets the goal for the Crows, but they've had to do it the hard way. Harvey to Burst to Ball, and Harvey running hard. Edwards with him. Harvey goes to ground. Brilliantly done, Harvey. To Baker, to Hayes, who's having a big night in his own right. Kicks to Kosicki. Almost held his ground. Well played, Marriage. That was a big play from Marriage to Edwards, to Massey. Some good run here from the Crows. Massey streaming through the centre square. Goodwin's a left footer, but he uses him okay. Can Thompson finish? He's given it a ride. It won't get there. Burton went too early, and it's through for behind.
Gee, they carried it well from deep in defence, though, didn't they, Adelaide? For one of the few times since the first quarter we've seen them run and share like that.
Revolt outside the defensive 50, suggesting they just slow down for a moment.
Harvey's had 13 touches this quarter, Dennis.
Yes, he's injured. There goes Revolt up towards the wing. I get your point, Tim. Hayes has got it. Isn't he a remarkable player, Robert Harvey?
In 17 minutes of football this quarter, he's had 13 touches.
How many for Hayes this quarter? He's up to 26 for the game. Reasonably slow start, too, as the midfield for Adelaide dominated early. This is Fisher getting on the end of a not too good kick from Hayes that time. It got there. It was intended for him, but a difficult one to mark given the spin. Comes back to Ball. Ball about 60 metres out. And they're finding space inside that forward 50. Montagna, a lot of the ball as well. This is his 23rd possession. They have swarmed over this game since quarter time, these Saints midfielders. Outclassed early. Now they're doing the outclassing. Comes in from the 50. The kick not good. Off hands are behind. Well, the Saints have had their opportunities to stitch this game up in this term.
Sam Fisher's been an outstanding player too. 19 touches. He has played as a free across half back, but he's an intelligent player.
Kicked 7-10 since quarter time.
There he goes.
So they've been inaccurate. Another opportunity. Back to Montagna. Touched off the boot. And then Ball under great pressure. Adelaide all over him. Edwards gets hold of it, ball up.
But he had no prior opportunity. That rhetorical question I raised just moments ago, Bruce. 14 possessions to Hayes in this term.
And he's a match for Harvey. Montagna not far behind them. So that's been the big turnaround since quarter time.
I haven't seen their midfield perform as well as they have tonight this year.
Hudson, Del Santo doing the ruck work there. Massey kept his head. McLeod, who was number 4 in that list in the top crow, now with the 24th disposal. Too far for Douglas. Attard back with him. Haven't seen a lot of him. He's been in a negating role. And then Montagna's kick. Danger here. Important ball to be won. Goodwin, Del Santo. Well done, Del Santo. Goodwin looking for free now. He's got a chance too.
Gone.
Give it up now. Or it's 50. Give it to him behind the full. Thank you.
Despite the domination, they lead by 5 points.
And Adelaide still might get the lead here. Goodwin's floating kick. Wonderful mark. Kosicki. Gee, I hope he's all right, knowing his background. He is. Rishetto in hard and late. And Kosicki hanging on to a very important mark. And betcha Rossi Lyon mentions that at 3/4 time. What a terrific quarter of football. Cut and thrust. And look at Cozzy as they come to him here. And the Saints playing for their season at the Dome tonight. They lead it by 5 points over the Crows. It's 67-62. This is Friday Night Football.
Harvey Norman, the technology specialist, gives you the choice. Take our range of integrated HD plasma TVs. Choose your brand, Panasonic, Samsung or LG, and you'll pay the one hot price, just $19.99. Integrated HD makes it easy. No set-top box required. Just crystal clear, high-definition viewing from your very own big screen plasma TV. Get in store and make the choice easy. Integrated HD plasma TV. 3 big brands, one hot price. Now at Harvey Norman, the technology specialist.
Here at Wild Chat, our girls are selected by their wild rating. Let's meet some now. This is Sky. She's got all the right moves. This is Amy. She can make a grown man cry with her smile. And this is Beck. So hot, we're sure she's the cause of global warming. As you can see, our girls love wild text, and they're waiting for your wildest text now. Text WILD to 191030, Australia's hottest text chat.
Crunch time. For and against means everything as the top 8 take shape on Fox Sports Super Saturday.
Here they go again.
At 1:30 Friday night reloaded. I thought I tore a footy tag. You did see Eagles, Manly and the Tigers together again. And at 3, the North Queensland Derby pits the Brisbane Premiers against a posse of Cowboys. At 4:30, the pre-game show direct from Telstra Stadium. Pump up for the Bulldogs and the Panthers, live and exclusive. The House of Elliott must get itself in order or fall to the folks of Canterbury.
And here come the doggies, out of the kennel and off the leash.
And live at 7:30, Freddie comes out fighting in the Roosters' corner as they get set for Stuart Sharks. Roasted by the Sea Eagles, will another bird cook the chooks or will a student become the master? First up, Friday night reloaded, then live and exclusive league. The Bulldogs take on the Panthers and the Roosters take on a new coach against Cronulla. All on your home of rugby league, Fox Sports.
We all love doing this, but sometimes we do this, which can lead to this. But don't worry. Just go multi-room and watch your favourite Foxtel and Austar channels in another room of the house. And you could be doing this, or even better, this. Call your service provider to find out about multi-room today. You'll be glad you did.
When I step onto the field as a Wallaby, I certainly take my family, my wife, my parents.
My mum and dad who were out in the bush at West Wallen, the West Wallen Weevils and country rugby.
Downlands College in Toowoomba. That's where I started playing rugby union, and the old coach Peter Healy there, he's really got me started, and you think about those sort of people when you finally get there.
The Rugby World Cup, September on Fox Sports.
And when I step on the field,
I take you.
Otis Griffin, the ex-American footballer who won Oscar De La Hoya's The Next Great Champ series.
Natural athlete, as you can tell. You never know what you're going to get in this sport.
Now he wants a world title shot, but first he's got to get past Danny Green.
Thinks he's coming to knock me out. He's got another thing coming.
The 6'1" American Dream faces the Aussie Demolition Machine. Green v Griffin, live Wednesday, July 18 at 7 p.m. See it at your Fox Sports venue or on Main Event.
And you can see that the Saints have pegged the Crows back. They led by 3 at half-time and now by 5 at three-quarter time. Terrific last quarter coming up. Neil Craig employing his players for one big effort. And if you want to know about the AFL, BigPondSport.com is the way to go. Let's go down to Ricky because Neil Craig's about to join him. Rick.
Neil, you're very vocal and passionate at three-quarter time. What was the message to the players?
We just thought we got ourselves back in the game, Rick, and we just need to add a bit more real hard attack to the full face of goal. So it's going to be a close game.
Great going. Thanks, Neil.
Ox, what about the midfield for the Saints?
Well, just their engine room got up and going in the third quarter. Hayes had 14, Harvey 13, Montagna had 11, and Burst had 8. Getting their hands on the footy, and on the other side of the ledger, McLeod only had 8, Goodwin had 8, and Edwards shut right out of the game by Lee Fisher, 2 possessions.
It was interesting, Tim, that Neil Craig felt the Crows were right back in business.
Well, he did, and he also talked about them attacking the goal face. Now, I just wonder whether or not they're going to set themselves up with a tool at the top of the square and be prepared to kick the ball long and high and see whether or not they can't get some crumb goals, because they've had real trouble manufacturing goals any other way tonight.
Interesting, Neil Craig has won 2 out of 4 against the Saints since taking over. Both the wins, the only 2 games, played here at the Dome. The others, one in Launceston, one at Amy. The Saints won.
McLeod free for the Adelaide Crows across half-back. Fisher for the Saints at the other end of the ground.
Mark Rashido spent a lot of time organising that forward line away to our left. Final term, Friday night football. Umpire McLaren bounces it down. Hudson hooks it behind. Goodwin had the run of it initially. Down goes ball. Could have almost been a free. Douglas got a hand pass away. Shirley, Thompson. That's 2 names. McLeod goes across the ground. 20 metres in the clear. Can go again to Knights now. He can kick it a long way, Knights, but he's held up. Good run from Fiora getting across.
Knights is really Fisher's opponent, but he couldn't engage Fisher. Fisher's decided to play off him.
Knights inside the forward 50. Big lead Kaczynski. Blake to Fisher, too clever by half. Montagna back to Blake. That's okay. Hayes, terrific second half. Blake goes again. Fiora, to his own advantage, goes after it. Knights has got him. Surely that was holding the ball. No free. Tawney went down. Coming through is Blake. Could have been taken high. Wrestled to the ground by Bock. And that ball is not coming out.
The big three for the Saints inside their 50. Revolt, Gehrig and Milne, the only three.
That's why these stoppages become critical to win now.
Goodwin searching for Harvey.
If they win the ball here, Bruce, you're right. You've got Revolt inside 50, Gehrig in the goal square alongside Milne, and plenty of space for those three clever forwards to operate in. A great shot of it there.
And the Crows with a very open 50 as well. So Tawney, little give to Goodwin, to Edwards. He had a great start, but he's had a quiet couple of quarters. It's a good kick to Welsh. An interesting match, Welsh. Very good first half. He has kicked a couple. Hasn't had a whole lot of the footy, but he's been constructive. He's asked to play on, and he decides to go bang. Burton's out of the marking contest. A free kick against Bock.
Jason Blake's free kick. Hands in the back and a push.
Well,
Jason Blake.
There's the long,
That's it.
high kick to the top of the square that Neil Craig was talking about at three-quarter time.
But I reckon Burton's the one they need to be in the contest, and he just got into the wrong position there. Fisher's being very good. It's an awkward kick to mark. Douglas and Attard. Attard off the rookie list, having a terrific year.
Under pressure, gets the kick off. It falls well short of the leading Revolt. Forced beyond the ball. Well played Stevens. Created a path for McLeod. Douglas, a runner alongside. That's ignored. Douglas, telling kick inside the forward 50. Gilbert almost the mark. Del Santo flicks it back towards the defensive goal. Plenty of time though for Maguire. Takes most of it. And then chips it out to Kazetsky. Kazetsky, right half back, looks down towards the wing. That's a good kick. What a beautiful pass. Revolt. Revolt across the ground. Kazetsky, who took a wonderful mark just on the three-quarter time siren. Graham's kick, well, luckily came to Fisher. That's Lee Fisher. He spots a man in Fiora. Now Fiora almost within range. Well, Fraser Gehrig came on a lead, hesitated. Now he's going to get a free kick.
This will be interesting.
Two hands around the waist.
I think that was a surprise to Fraser, that pass.
He wasn't expecting the pass, and
Got it here.
just watch the contact here. A free kick for holding him. Yep, there's the hold. Wrapped his arm around Fraser's arm.
And Fraser certainly played it up, didn't he? He's a big man. Takes a lot of putting down, but not that time. He fell over like Humpty Dumpty with inner-ear problems. Here's Gehrig. 35 metres out. Another telling kick. Another telling result.
Well, it's been a good night for Big Fraser. That's his fourth goal. McGregor started the night as a forward, but because of the injury to Rutten, he's had to go back there and play on the big man. Here's Del Santo's skill. They're under a bit of pressure there, but he was just able to get the ball to the space there so Sinkuda could set up another attack. And here's the free kick. And that's exactly what you can't do. You cannot grab hold of a player when you're going for the ball in a marking duel.
He's having a good little patch, isn't he? 5 against Richmond, 4 against Collingwood, 4 tonight. For the 5th time this year, he gets 4 at least.
He's working hard too. Working hard for each of those kicks.
35 goals for the season. He was at 35 in round 14 last year, so he's not far off of 70-goal season again. He's done that for the last 3. So Adelaide got to dig deep here. And the Saints, well, we know their fate if they lose this match. Fisher.
It's not coming out, he's trying.
Wraps up Thompson.
It's a shutdown now. There are no free players at either end of the ground. McLeod's engaged, and so is Sam Fisher.
So every clearance here, vital, massive, did well. Got over the top, and then Shirley, and up and under. Rashudo flies, well done Maguire. Douglas read it pretty well, but he swarmed on Gilbert and Attard.
No chance, go through Scotty.
It's a good record for the Saints, but the Crows have beaten them a couple of times here in 05 and 06.
Kazetsky reaches over the top, knocks it down. Baker somehow got through, then coughed it up. Douglas in the opposite direction, taken down by Hayes. No chance, held to him, says umpire McLaren. Veteran of 3 grand finals. 55 metres out the bounce. Kazetsky did well.
Knock it out, hit it clear, knock it out.
73 plays 62. This bounce about 60 metres out. Hudson into the path of Montagna, stolen away by Goodwin, who goes with the right boot. Rashudo doesn't look right, missed the mark. Burton tracks it towards the line. Maguire tracks him with intent, and the ball is out of bounds.
I reckon he's the X factor, Burton. And he's the Crows' best chance to do something out of the ordinary up forward. Hudson front spot. Kazitsky's been very good. Harvey's been out, or rather not Harvey, they're Fisher. He has been outstanding. They both have. Thompson couldn't quite get it back into the field of play. Hayes with him.
I reckon they're going to have to kick 12 goals to win this game, Adelaide. They're on 9 now, and you just wonder where their next 3 goals can come from.
Well, Ross Lyons spoke to you at the start. He said 12, 13, 14. And Hudson's at it with Kazitsky here.
Hang on, the other umpire.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that, Bruce. Oh, Cosy, you've got the free kick.
Now, that was the umpire from the midfield that actually ran down and paid that free kick.
So Cosy got it and got it to Attard.
Attard hugs the boundary line. Well done, Massey. Arrived quickly, thumped it forward. McLeod been wonderful across half back. In some of the best form of his career, and that's saying a lot. Thompson inside the forward 50. Kazitsky with a chance to set it up again from the back. Changes the outcoming route. Fisher, now Harvey. The unstoppable one. Gilbert looks to the middle. Can the Saints run it out? That's a very wayward kick. Burton, 55 metres out Bacon Square, but it won't be a bad result because it runs out of bounds.
Pressure from Fisher, just squeezed the kick then.
More to it than met the eye. I think Hutto has reason to be unhappy.
Crows searching for this goal to get them back within a kick. Cosy on his own decides to thump it away. Fiora. Thompson ball up.
Hasn't it tightened up in this last quarter? We're not seeing the same running play that St Kilda was able to initiate in the second and third quarters.
Had 1 scoring shot, Tim, in the last quarter. It was a goal to the Saints.
Just wonder about actually pushing someone like McLeod down around a stoppage like this because of his ability to be able to create something from nothing.
Well, at the moment, he's about a kick away, isn't he, lurking at centre wing. Montagna's kick got through Knights, and then he fell over, so not a good result. And then Attard inside. Hayes had to wait a little bit for a back-to-ball. This midfield collectively have been outstanding for the Saints. Ball's gone.
Oh, dear.
Thanks, Brawley. Give it to him now. Straight to him.
Sometimes you just got to kick it down the line, don't you? And hope that it might roll and roll and roll. So Thompson goes back to Riley.
Riley, plenty of time. Across the ground, it will arrive in time. McGregor got it. Milne was closing. This is Johncock then, just behind the centre circles. Kicks it inside the forward 50, over the top Kazetsky. Spills to Rashudo, pulls it back. Goal! Here they come.
Again, that's the goal face kick that Neil Craig was talking about at 3/4 time. Be prepared to actually attack the goal face. Now, it's still 25 metres out from the top of the square, but it was predictable to the players. The ball went in there to the contest. There was actually 3 St Kilda players that flew, 1 Adelaide Crow. but that very clever and brilliant Rashudo was the man that stayed down and was clever enough to screw the ball all around.
Rashudo's been a story all night. He's kicked the last 2 Crows goals. He may be the big story of the night in the last quarter. So the captain gets them back within 5. Remember, the Saints led Collingwood by 20 points in the last quarter last week. Collingwood kicked 4-5 after that to run away. St Kilda playing for its season. Adelaide playing for a top 4 spot, you would reckon. Doughty to Van Berlo to full forward. Saints with the numbers, and Maguire got back. Bock couldn't get a run at it. Blake was able to tie him up. Can the Saints hold their nerve now? Fisher in the back pocket. Ross Lyon said to you when you asked him about, are you playing for your season? He said, we don't talk about that. He said, we'd tighten up if we thought about that. Well, I just wonder. Human nature tells you that you would be thinking about it.
Adelaide's tightened up too, and St Kilda will now be forced to play a different sort of game.
Maguire missed a golden opportunity. Baker was just on the ground and by himself. Didn't see him. He came on the interchange. Now an opportunity for Attar. Dragged off the football. Well done by Douglas on his knees. Van Berlo feeds Burton. Burton kicks it to Maguire. Across half back. Fisher wants it. That's Sam Fisher. What a beautiful kick. Laid it out in front of him. He reached full pace as he got to the ball. That was wonderful. Fisher, long kick. Can Kazitsky get there? Oh, you bet he can. Well, how did he mark that? Watch this, like Mick Foley coming off the top rope at the finish. And somehow managed to hang on.
That's his 4th mark in this final quarter. He's had 5 disposals and 7 hit-outs.
Oh.
That's a great, strong, contested mark. You don't see too many of those contested marks in modern-day footy.
Might turn out to be one of the biggest marks he's taken for the club. The margin is 5 points. It's now 11.
I reckon he's been good tonight, Kazitsky. Whether he's played in the ruck or whether he's played up forward, he's been hard, he's been desperate, he's done some wonderful work at ground level. See Fisher just running again off half back. He's been a great player all night. He looked almost completely out of position here, Kazitsky. Got a bit of a knock there from McGregor in the marking drill, which propelled him forward. That's a wonderful mark.
Well, he started the night so well down back, and now he's finishing here. Look at the contested marks for the Saints. Big numbers.
They are, aren't they? That's a domination in the air. Complete domination in the air.
Adelaide without a contested mark since half-time. So the Crows again forced to come from a couple of kicks down. Montagna wrapped up by Van Berlo. Burse having his best match in his first season with the Saints. As Dennis said, probably playing for his career here, and he'll get a game next week.
Bruce, and Adelaide have gone inside there attacking 50 on 8 occasions for 1 goal. St Kilda have gone in twice for 2 goals.
So that's in the final term, obviously.
The final term.
Well, that's a good return, isn't it, for the Saints, with Gehrig and Kazitsky getting the goals. Harvey's sitting it out with Hayes.
They'll be resting them at this stage of the game just to bring them on for the last 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes.
And Thompson's only played 25 minutes tonight. Clark, is that a quiet one? Dal Santo, well done to Burse, having a terrific game. Gehrig nearly. It is.
Just here, Fraser. Here.
That's a big loss tonight, isn't it, Rutten? Because even though Gehrig might have had him beaten on the lead, that's the contest that Rutten will be much better than McGregor at. McGregor knew that he was done for body strength.
Well, there's been some big kicks tonight, none bigger than this. He's hit the post. How many is it? Is it 9?
9 now. Maybe.
I know you're making them up, but at least you're keeping count.
If you're going to lie, be consistent. Here's John Cock. Now Doughty. The record is 14 in the game, Bruce, as we've said before. That was before records were kept. Knights on the outer side. Burse. Still Burse. Knights takes him down and will have a ball up. 12 points the difference. Gee, we've seen some good games on Friday night football. Some real clinkers. And this crowd right into it. Rex knocks it down. Really sighted tonight. Desperation from Burst to no avail. Riley gives it off. Goodwin goes inside the forward 50. Rashudo came hard. Hudson feeds it back. Knights. Oh, a brilliant smother by Graham. Knights came again. Well, he threw it on his boot, as it turns out. Down goes Attard. Over the top comes Welsh, and the umpire wants it. 60 metres out from goal.
That was great play from Maguire a moment ago too. Just courage in the air. Great smother though, just to keep the ball in their area there by the Saints.
Bounce. High lip, good one, but straight down to Del Santo. Runs from half-back, kicks to half-forward, Revolt. That acceleration just pulled away from Massey. Left half forward, centering kick, Kaczynski through his fingertips, chopping the arms.
Right hand chopped his arm. Come through. Just here. Your right hand chopped his right arm. Play on.
He plays on. Told to. It bounces obligingly for Gehrig, tried to get through. Clark hasn't seen a lot of the football. Hooks it across the body. Tawney, unkind bounce, goes back. Oh, well done, Riley. How did he get through there? He needed a machete. Comes out wide over the top. Sam Fisher did brilliantly. Knocked it out of bounds.
He's been close to best on the ground tonight, Sam Fisher. Outstanding game.
It's been a few good players here tonight, haven't there, Tim? It's been a whole heap of them, mainly for the Saints since quarter time, but the Crows have had their numbers too.
Thompson looked like he was going to swallow that.
12-point game. Gehrig's poster a moment ago. Doughty's been really good. Marriage promising. Good hands, Rashudo. He's playing a cameo, isn't he, Rashudo? Not a lot of possessions, but he's kicked the last couple of Crows goals, and that's a good-looking kick. Burton, not quite. Fisher, your man again. That's Lee Fisher run down. Burton kicks it. The X-Man. They're coming again.
Is your man Bruce? You nominated him. You said that he needed to do something special in this last quarter. Fisher did a magnificent job again in the air just to spoil it. And there's Rashudo, who's had some important touches in this last quarter. And just see the grimace on his face there. He's in some pain. There's Fisher. There's the spoil. Almost took the ball. Good pressure again by the Adelaide forwards and went off the ground there to Burton.
Great stuff by Burton, improvising. Momentarily, that kick into the 50 seemed destined for his chest. Next moment, he was hacking it out of midair for a goal. The strain starting to show. The season on the line. And the Adelaide Crows not good to meet in that situation. Rex gave it to Baker. Graham kicks down towards half forward. Harvey once more. Wants the 50, not forthcoming. Coming up for his 29th possession. His best against Adelaide, 38, round 22 of 96. But tonight he's turned back the clock. Revolt, centering kick. In front down there was Marriage. Crashing to the turf was Kaczynski. Loose ball about 40 metres out from goal. Trying to hack his way through was Milne. Head down Clark. Robbed of the football, he threw it.
Good decision.
Stevens to take the free. No concessions in there. The kick showed a lot of it to Del Santo. Well played, John Cock, and again. Advantage will be played. Around the outer side, Thompson. Now Doughty goes to half forward. Burton marks in the hands. It was a good mark. Plays on immediately. Releases Knights on his left foot. Rashudo juggled, attempt to the mark, didn't hang on. Oh, well done. Blake got a hand in there. Ball loose at the back, close to the boundary line. Gilbert palms off a would-be tackler. Attard across to Sam Fisher. Look at the acceleration. Comes away. Telling kick. Revolts.
Two telling players, haven't they? Fisher and Revolt.
17th mark.
He's got the height advantage and he's now using it, and Burst runs on.
Twice he's taken 13 marks against the Crows. That's his best against them. His career high is 18 against the Kangaroos, round 20 of 04.
And he's got that in his sights. It's just been a spectacular game of footy, hasn't it?
What about Kaczynski? He's throwing himself around like a crash test dummy.
Well, he's kicked one clever goal. He's kicked two all up. This is about as big a kick as Burst has had. You'd think it won't be a score, but will it be a mark? Gehrig was lurking with Milne. Crows have not been in front since half-time. For 2.5 minutes they've been level. They haven't been in front, and right now they trail by 6 points. But the Saints have got it close to the goal. Doughty took a chance, got away with it. Riley coughed it up. Harvey, well, it wasn't in the end. He picked out the wrong bloke in Massey, and the Crows to repel. It's an interesting game, Massey. He's had his pants pulled down really by Revolt, but at the same time he's done some good things, and Adelaide keep on pressing on.
Surely a good kick. Now Riley, plenty of time to spot a man on the move. That's Rashudo. He's pressing too, pushing up the ground, providing a target. There's a good one. That's bypassed. Welsh has got it. He's kicked two.
Two important players in this last quarter for Adelaide. Burton's starting to get a couple of touches, and Rashudo's worked extremely hard to be that lead-up player.
He's 28 goals 7 with set shots this season, Dennis.
You'd like him from here. His career high 8 against Melbourne, round 14, 2004. Neil Craig's first game as coach. This one looks good. He's got it. Scores are level at the Dome.
We know Adelaide are an extremely fit side. What we don't know at this stage is how fit St Kilda are. They've had some conditioning problems all year. This is a tackle by Baker. He made Massey earn that, but Rashudo's been that player who's played a lot higher in this last quarter, up around centre-half forward as that presenting player. And that's just a wonderful kick to the space in front of Welsh.
Welsh with 3. How's this for a stat? Adelaide have won 5 games only in Melbourne, trading at three-quarter time in their history of the club. 2 of them very famous, against the Bulldogs in the 97 prelim, against Melbourne in the 02 semi. So just 5 times they've been able to come from three-quarter time deficit to win here in Melbourne. They're level now. They've been level in the second half for just a couple of minutes. They haven't been in front. So Fiora to Graham to Hayes, who's been outstanding along with a number of others. Good kick to Gehrig.
Gee, the stars are standing up, aren't they?
At both ends.
You look across the ground. Adelaide, their stars are standing up, and St Kilda's are now too. This is an important kick.
Well, his last important kick, he hit the post from close in on the other side. He's had plenty of shots. He's played very, very well. Not going to be a score. Can it be a mark? Well, it is a score now. Belted over the line.
Still working hard, Adelaide.
They know no other way. There's Thompson to midfield, and Massey in space. Can go by hand, and he does. Knights needs to be quick, and he is. Down goes Marich. Jarred out of there. Maguire's got it. Wonderful chase initially from Baker. Went to Hayes. Montagna. Guess who? Robert Harvey. You could land a jumbo up ahead. Harvey's away, running down towards right half forward. Fraser will need to go. That's a mark, umpire. Play on's the call. Fraser pleads with the umpire. Nothing doing.
Hit the ground.
Oh, well, the umpire was in perfect position. I don't think it hit the ground. Tossed in. Revolt, sleight of hand, flicked it out like he was doing card tricks. In went Harvey. Spills across. Brilliantly done there by Ball to Montagna. Long to full forward. John Cock got a hand to it. Falling over was McGregor. Wasn't bad policy as it turned out. Clever kick, John Cock. Got it to Edwards. And Edwards rumbles out of defence.
And then kicks to centre of the ground. Welsh, it wasn't a great kick. He was always under the puck. This is a big ball to be won. And Welsh gets back to get it to Doughty. Does it sit? He's got to be quick. Thompson, he is. Bad kick. Well done, Maguire. But Burton was very, very good, but then coughs it up. Fisher again. I reckon he is the best man on the ground right now, Tim. If the Saints can hang on here.
Stephen Baker laid a tackle in the centre of the ground about 2 minutes ago. It was the last effort he had in him. He came straight off the ground. He collapsed on the sidelines with cramp.
Ball to Fisher to Ball.
He's still being worked on by the trainers.
You said it'd be a 12-goal game. It's 11-12 right now. Saints with the scoring shots. Crows with the extra goal. Revolt pushed.
Hands in the back. Give it to him now. Now.
So that equals, does it? Well, that was a free kick in there, not the mark. So 17 marks back to Fisher. Winding the clock down a bit here. Plenty of time remaining. If there's another goal that wins the match, one way or the other. Saints, if they win, could almost be touching the 8. They'd be just a game and percentage out, but they'd be alive. It would be Saints alive tonight. If they lose, you reckon they're gone. Clark's kick, missed by Harvey. Crows with a chance to set up from deep in the back.
Hudson goes to Tawney around the other side. Still ample time. Shirley's got it. 1:40 remaining. Thompson. They're a disciplined team, the Crows. Thompson on the outer side, forced to hesitate. High ball, Maguire. Can he get there? Well, this will be a big call for the umpire. Throw it in, he says.
I reckon he had an option there. He actually could have marked that ball, Maguire. There's Baker. He's been treated by the physio there for cramp.
Boundary throw in. Rucks go at it. Over the top, Shirley. He's revelled in that situation. Third man up, Montagna to the wonderful Hayes. Hayes out of defence. Revolt lunges. Perhaps Maguire could have done that. Revolt another mark. Well, we heard last weekend that brave men were an endangered species. I think we've got 44 of them out there tonight. Revolt goes down towards half forward. Shocking kick taken by Knights. Knights pops it back towards the wing. Del Santo. And that could be the match saver. Del Santo needs to find a target. Gehrig edged under the ball, could have almost got a free. Knights knocks it across. Massey slips it back. Goodwin. Now Knights.
Can the Crows conjure here? Can they make a famous run from half back? McGregor's kick. Doughty, not quite. Held up. Del Santo's been important late in this match. Saints with the ball in hand. Blake back from Harvey. Fisher again. Still Fisher. Found a way to Harvey. Harvey at centre wing. Back to Fisher. The Saints a real chance now. Oh, good mark. Oh, free kick.
That's it.
Two hands in the middle of his backside.
And Burse is going to be the man with the footy right near the end and kicks to Gehrig in the pocket. Hooks it back. Hits the post.
10, Bruce.
But that's it.
What a game.
What a win. Magnificent contest. Let's go down and join Ricky.
Well, I've got Fraser Gehrig with me. Had a great game. What a cliffhanger, mate. You just got there over the line. There we hang in there. We still made some mistakes in the last quarter, but learned our lesson a bit from last week. Well, we probably should have been smarter and stuff with our ball use, and luckily we got the result. Smile, mate. It keeps the season alive, doesn't it? You've been on the roll too the last few weeks. You've been working hard to it. Today you started up the ground in that first half.
Yeah, the idea was probably Rutten's a pretty solid player, so moved him around a bit. Got a few easy ones, mate. A few lucky ones. So the boys' disposal was pretty good, and good night.
Yeah, well done tonight, mate. Great win. Thanks.
He did play well, didn't he, Gehrig, with his 4 goals. Had a couple of posters in the last quarter. Just so many good players from both teams tonight. Revolt and Fisher and Harvey and Hayes. Rashido did his bit. So Adelaide are back in the ruck now. They're right back in the ruck at 8 and 7, and the Saints at 7 and 8.
Huge game for them tonight. You could tell that. It was etched on the face of Neil Craig at three-quarter time. He understood what this meant. But unfortunately, he couldn't make it 3 in a row against the Saints on this ground. Let's go down to Ricky with Sam Fisher, one of his stars tonight.
Yeah, you're a real star tonight, mate. Great game. It was a real cliffhanger in the end, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It went right down the wire. We knew the Crows were going to stay in it for all the game. So to get over the line was great effort by the boys.
You're on your own form, mate. You've been great at that back line. You're really taking them on.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Been playing a bit loose meaning defence, which makes it a bit easier. So no, it's good to get hands on the ball and get it down to the forwards.
Is that what the team's trying to do, trying to free you up?
Yeah, it was tonight. Hasn't been in the past, but tonight was definitely the case. Try to free me up and yeah, to give some support to our defence.
Good on you, mate. Goose is pretty happy, son. Go and enjoy the win. Thank you, Chase.
Terrific article on him today from Barmer in South Australia. Played at West Adelaide with Adam Cooney and Shane Tuck and others. His mum and dad had the sports store at Barmer, so he always had the new shoes to wear to school, Sam Fisher. He liked it.
Well, he's a terrific defender and must be pushing now his claims for All-Australian. And that guy, well, one of the smallest on the ground, but gee, I think Tim made the point. Ran down a man, tackled into the ground, immediately ran off the ground and collapsed.
Jim Montagna was important too. That win in Perth a month ago has just given them a chance. They beat West Coast, came here and beat Richmond, went down to Collingwood, but win tonight. So 3 out of 4 for the Saints. 7 and 8 poor percentage, but they're sort of still there.